Hey everyone. So it is Friday Night Live. I had done a short poll this week just asking, giving you a couple of different choices for what I might talk about tonight. And there were only two people that said, this is what I want to hear about. And both of those people said that they wanted to talk about TSP and specifically the matching contributions and how things are changing come 2021. So this is not what I planned to talk about tonight, but since that change is coming up in January and since two people said, yeah, this is what we want to hear about, that's what I want to go ahead and talk about. So if you look at the slide here, it does have the annual limits as far as contribution goes to the federal thrift savings program. This is for federal employees. This is for also members of the military that have chosen to participate in what functions similarly to a 401k or an IRA. It's not either of those things. It's an eligible employer account, but it functions like them. And most people are very familiar with those. So that's what we'll use for the description. But we don't want to call it an IRA or a 401k. It's similar to. The limit that the employee can contribute, both for 2020 and 2021, is $19,500. And we call that regular contribution. Now, I define regular contribution as being anybody in any point in their career at any age. So it doesn't matter if I was hired yesterday or I'm going to retire tomorrow. It doesn't matter if I'm 21 or if I'm 85. I can contribute $19,500 as the maximum. Now, that is from me. That does not include anything that I might get from the government. We're going to talk about the government contribution in just a minute. When we talk about contribution to the thrift program, it does have to be done through payroll deduction. Always, 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 every single time. I can't have maybe come into some cash, maybe I sold a piece of property or I had some additional money. I cannot just cut a check and send that into TSP. It's got to be done through payroll deduction. In addition to the regular contribution, if it is a year that I'm going to turn 50 or older, I can also participate in something that's called catch-up contribution. Now, it sounds kind of weird when we say in a year that I'm going to turn 50 or older, but it just means that I don't actually have to be 50 yet. If it's January 1st and I'm going to have my 50th birthday on December 30th, then this is the year that I will turn 50. I can start doing catch up in January. I don't actually have to wait until I have my birthday, but I've got to be turning 50 or older in order to do catch up. And if I am, then that's another $6,500 that I could put into the thrift savings program. Like the regular contribution, the catch up does have to be done through payroll deduction. Again, every single time it's got to be done through payroll deduction. So the numbers are exactly the same for 2021 as they were for 2020. 19,005 regular, 6,500 catch up. What's changing in January is that the employees no longer need to sign up to do catch up. So for 2020 and each year prior to this, I had to be turning 50 or older. I had to be planning to max out with the full 19,500 before December 31st. And I had to sign up to do catch up every single year that I wanted to do it. It required an annual re-enrollment. And if I forgot, then I would miss out on being able to do catch up. There's no open season or anything like that, but I did have to sign up if I wanted to do it. And again, people forgot, or sometimes they would just be contributing, assuming that since they were going to turn 50, that they were going to be included in catch up, and that's not true. So you can see on the slide that's showing here, the only thing that's changed, I crossed out, requires annual re-enrollment. That's no longer true. Okay, so now essentially what that means is that people who will be turning 50 or older will be automatically signed up. There's no enrollment, there's no sign up, but we'll be automatically able to contribute to catch up once we hit that annual limit. So in addition to what I contribute, and I can put in the full 26,000 if I'm 50 or older. People get confused and they think that is also including money from the government. It's not. in addition to what I'm contributing. If I'm under FERS, the Federal Employees Retirement System, or I'm under BRS, which is the blended retirement system for members of the military, then I can also receive an amount that equals 1% of each of my paychecks automatically. So we call those automatic agency contribution, whether I put in any of my own money or not. If I'm FERS or BRS, then I do get that 1% automatically from the government. And if I am contributing some of my own money, again, I've got to be FERS or BRS, not the traditional or legacy systems or CSRS, then I can get matching. Matching is where there's a lot of confusion because the government matches based upon a percentage of pay that the employee is contributing. But we don't contribute necessarily based on a percentage of pay. We can choose to do a dollar amount or a percentage of pay. And so my max is $19,500. Depending on what I'm making for pay, 19,500 could be 1% or it could be 100% of my pay. Match looks at the amount I'm contributing as far as a dollar goes and compares that dollar amount back to my paycheck. Okay, so we're comparing this dollar amount back to the paycheck to determine what the match is going to be. If what I'm contributing equals 1, 2, or even 3% of my paycheck, I receive a full match of 1, 2, or 3%. When we look at what I'm contributing and compare it back to my paycheck, if it equals 4 or 5%, the match for those last two is at 0.5. So here is a table. I'm going to pull it up. Here's a table that shows you exactly the way it's working, okay? I'm contributing something that's 1, 2, or 3%. I'm getting that automatic 1% and a match of 1, 2, or 3%. So what I'm putting in is 3 with the 1 and a match of 3, that's 7 that's going into the account. Whereas what I'm putting in is 5% with the match for those last two being at 0.5. I put in 5, I got the automatic 1, I got a total match of 4, so that's 5 that I got from the government. And this is why you hear people say, right, you can double your money. You're doubling it before you even start investing. 5% from you, 5% from the government. That's the end of the match. You can contribute well over 5% of your pay. But the match stops once we look at whatever 5% of your pay is. So it's not 5% of what you're contributing. It's 5% of what you're contributing compared back to your paycheck. 5% of that paycheck is the maximum for the match. So again, people have missed out, right? Because they didn't think to sign up and now they don't have to sign up. So now I just contribute and whatever 5% of my pay is going to be matched. Everything above that, up to potentially $1,000, because we normally, federal civilians, have 26 pay periods. So if I'm doing 26,000 for the year, that's $1,000 a pay period. 5% of my pay is going to be matched, but I can put in $1,000 and the rest of that is not going to be matched. Hey, Ellen, I'm so happy to see you here. Missed the beginning, so I'll watch. Perfect. You're so welcome for doing this. I'm really happy that I can do it, and Merry Christmas to you. This is the last one for 2020, actually, so I will be back on in 2021, but I hope that you have a very happy holiday. So the concern when we're talking about what's changing, the fact that we now have this automatic enrollment in catch up if we're going to be 50 or older. Well, what if I'm putting in so much money that I'm going to hit my cap, then I'm going to be missing out on the matching? Not really. That's a misunderstanding. And the way it's worded, this is my opinion, and I'm on a public forum, but I'm going to say this. The way that it's worded on TSP's website is a little bit confusing at first because it makes it seem like employees are now going to be matched even on their catch up. And that's not true, and that's never been true, and it isn't going to be true coming forward either. So I wanted to run some real numbers to kind of, make it maybe a little bit more clear. So I looked at 2019, and the Office of Personnel Management said the average federal employee for 2019 was making a salary of $87,312 a year. If I divide that by 26 pay periods, then we're looking at the average being $3,350 per pay period. The match is only on 5% of that pay period. Well, 5% of $3,350 is only $167.91. If I'm contributing the maximum, a regular only even, that's $750 out of each paycheck. If I'm doing catch up, that's $1,000 out of each paycheck. 5% of my pay is $167.91. So you see, we're not going to miss out on anything. In fact, they're trying to make sure we're not going to miss out on anything. It's just that the way it's written is a little bit confusing. It's a little bit confusing. Kathy Denny, how are you? I haven't seen you in forever. Okay, so really it's a good thing. It's a good thing because people forget, people don't get around to doing what they plan to do. And, in the past, if I was doing this average, this average 87,000 something, and I was putting in $1,000 out of each pay period because I wanted to get to 26,000. Well, $1,000 a pay period, I'm going to get to my $19,500 in pay period 20, right? $1,000 times 19 and 500 coming out of that pay period 20. If I am 50 or older, but I didn't sign up for catch up, I'm done. Once I get to 19,500, the payroll office would shut me down, which means the way it used to be, where I had to sign up, if I didn't sign up from pay period halfway through 20 through 26, I could put in 0. If I'm putting in 0, I'm getting 0 match from the government as well. Whereas going forward, if I'm doing $1,000 per pay period, the match is on only 5% of the pay, but now I can contribute for that entire 26 pay period year instead of hitting my regular cap after 19, halfway through 20, and being shut down. I hope that makes sense. Please, please, please let me know if that's clear, if that's really, fuzzy to you. Am I making it worse with my example? I'm just trying to make sure that everybody understands. Drop me a comment. Let me know if you've got questions, if you need further clarification, or if you think that you got it. Kathy says, I've been busy moving. Oh, I know how that goes. Trust me. I know how that goes. Hopefully you're getting settled in and that's going smoothly. I really hope that that's working out well for you. I'm jealous because I know what you have planned on the end of that move, and I'm sure it's absolutely beautiful, especially at this time of the year. That's awesome. Okay, so recap just for everybody, right? 19,500 for 2021, unless you're going to be 50 or older, then 26,000, and you're matched only on the first 5% of pay that you contribute. You can take all year to get that money in there. 26,000 from you the person, plus the 1% plus the matching. So I'm going to hop off here. Do let me know, please. If you watch, if you have questions, comments, whatever, I'd love to hear from you. And everyone, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Take care of yourself. I will see you in 2021.